Hello YouTube. Wanted to do a quick watch review kind of impression here. So I've been a watch adorer, collector for quite a long time, probably since, I don't know, early 2000s, so maybe about a good 15 years now I've been kind of into watches. And I began with Citizen. It was kind of like my gateway watch. I got into the Citizens, particularly the atomic echo drives. I really liked them, and then eventually that moved me towards the mechanical, and that's where I've been for the most, probably better part of the last maybe decade or so, is mechanical watches. And I'm not gonna lie, I became a watch snob, and really I kind of got to the, not so much a brand snob, because I love Seiko and Orient, so I wouldn't call myself a brand snob, but I was definitely a watch snob. I definitely looked kind of down on quartz, and even probably worse on digital. So this is kind of why this video is interesting, because I know I made a video about my newest watch, or newer watch, which is the Pro Trek, and kind of really digging it. I mean, it is on the big side, so I'm kind of, now that I've had some time with it, I don't know if I'm going to keep it. This might be for sale because it's just a little too big for me, at least for daily wear. I could see this being maybe, if I do keep it, this will just kind of come out for, kind of specific purposes, like when I go fishing. But this next watch I'm about to show might kind of change that, because I got something else now. So I want to talk about my two most recent watches I got. This one I think is probably well known. This is the Casio A168WA. I'm not going to do a review on it. There are plenty of videos on it. The only reason I want to talk about it is this is more for, like, if you're already into these watches, and you could probably just skip past this video because this isn't really kind of targeted towards you. But for folks that were like me, if you told me a year ago I'd have this watch, I'd, laugh you out the door. I mean, in fact, a year ago, if I saw someone wearing this watch, I'd probably call them Urkel and try to steal their lunch money. I'm kidding, but I mean, I've always thought these were the dorkiest, stupidest things, and quite frankly, I was willing to tolerate quartz analog watches, but in the end, being a watch snob, if it wasn't mechanical, it wasn't a true watch, is kind of, unfortunately, kind of the mindset I had. And in these last few months, I kind of, actually what kind of got me into it is I got a Garmin, and I kind of really like wearing a Garmin for health reasons, because I like to, lift, ride bikes, go out. So probably could maybe make a separate video about my Garmin watch, but that kind of at least opened my idea to digital. And then, with kind of what's going on in the world, I'm always kind of a prepper too, so I thought I needed kind of a apocalyptic watch, and that was this. So that's kind of what brought me to here. And then as I watched a few videos on these, saw a couple of these kind of in a suggestions. So I did watch a couple of videos, and I said, hell, for was it 16? I think I paid like $18. I'm like, what do I have to lose? 18 bucks. That's like a one or two fast food meals. I figured, what do I have to lose? Let's give it a shot. And I like this thing. So to my watch snob friends out there who thought what I thought, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. I mean, it's certainly no Omega Speedmaster, but that's not what it's kind of trying to do. It's just something unique and fun and just kind of different. I'm actually kind of looking forward to wearing this out with some of my watch friends, just to kind of get the reaction. I have one watch friend who's just starting the mechanical, and I've been giving him a hard time about all his quartz watches, so kind of looking forward to just casually showing up wearing this sucker and hear his reaction. So that's all I wanted to mention about this watch, is that kind of give a watch snob perspective, is that I'm really digging it, and I kind of see the fascination of these Casio squares. I'm kind of looking now at some of the G-Shock squares. I got my eye on the Adrenaline, I think it's called, the all red out look. I think that one looks pretty darn cool, so I might even be picking that one up now. So I'm kind of catching the bug here now. But real cool watch. I mean, for 18 bucks, I mean, you know, it's just a easy decision for 18 bucks. The other one I got is the Casio fishing watch. So as I mentioned, I like to fish. So I said, oh, what the hell, if I'm going to buy one, why not buy two? And this one was also like $19. So, you know, this one I think, you know, not as cool, I think, as this one in a look sense. I think I kind of like the looks of this better, but this one actually got for its practicality. You know, it's a fishing indicator, and I like to fish. That's what I was saying. You know, this was supposed to be kind of like my outdoor fishing watch, but this one doesn't tell fishing like this one does. So this one actually uses the kind of the moon phase of your location and tells you when it's a good time to fish. Like right now, it looks like actually you can tell this is, I think, level 3, I think, so it's decent. When this whole part is full of fish, and it'll say fish there, that's when you know it's a good fishing time. But pretty cool watch for what it cost. You know, the first thing actually I did, if you notice already, different band. So it came with these kind of cheapo plasticky bands, which I instantly did not click with, and I don't know, I just didn't like these. So what I did is actually I have a whole drawer full of different. I was really hoping to put this on a NATO. That was my goal, is to wear this on a nice green NATO, but there's just no way to fit that. So I figured leather would be the next best thing. And ironically, these are, I believe, I forgot already. I think these are 18-inch lugs. And ironically, I actually did have one set of leather straps for 18. So these actually fit, but it kind of looked kind of weird because, you know, it's got these, you know, these kind of taper out like that, and then these don't. So it kind of looked a little, I don't know, a little kind of goofy, I guess, too thin. So then I took them off, and I had this pair of leather straps that I probably owned for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, and pretty much never even used. I kind of got this one time thinking I would, and I could just never find a watch to wear this with. And these are 22 millimeter straps. So what I did actually is, you can see right here, I'm going to test my video editing skills, see if I can somehow put a picture here somewhere to show how I did it. If I can't figure out, I'll show the pictures at the end, because I took a couple of pictures as I was doing it. But basically, I took a knife and just kind of, if you can see, I kind of just trimmed out a little like square of each side, so that it kind of, sorry about that, so that way, you know, the inner part fits in, and then it kind of creates a little bit of a taper. So very similar to kind of how this would fit. What I was going for is to try to kind of mimic that. So it looked much better than just having the kind of the natural 18 right there. So if you can kind of see, it's almost, I mean, it's probably like a millimeter, just too short, but you know, close enough. I mean, I don't want to buy a new strap and spend more on a strap than the watch itself, so I figured, and this strap, like I said, I probably had it for at least 5, maybe 6 years, a long time. I mean, I've had this thing in my drawer forever. I never used it, so I figured, what the hell, why not? And then this had white stitching, so I took a green Sharpie and just colored it green, just to kind of match the watch, and you know, voila. So now I got it on the leather, and it just feels much better than the plastic did. And hopefully, when this leather strap, actually, I would still classify as new because I truly never used it. I got it a long time ago. I can't remember what watch I was hoping to get it for, but then I just never really, I could never find a good watch to wear this with. So this really is still very stiff and new. So once it kind of breaks in, maybe it'll look even nicer. But that's kind of what it looks like on the leather. I like this much better than this plastic is very rigid. I mean, if it was like silicone, I would wear it for sure, but this is straight up plastic, and I just don't like it. Honestly, I don't know how long this would even last. But yeah, so this is my fishing watch. So that's kind of what I meant now, that I don't know how what use I'll be getting out of this, because I'm starting to kind of, it's just too big to wear every single day. I try wearing it as daily wear, and it's just, I don't know, I don't like it. Particularly because I wear it on my left hand. This bulge kind of drives me nuts, but this one might have to get sold, especially if I get, what I'm eyeing now is like a G-Shock Square that's got not a lot of the same features, but it's got solar, it's got multi-band. Obviously doesn't have the AVC features, but that's okay. So if I do get one of these, this one might have to be sold. So if you're interested, let me know. And then now obviously every time I go fishing, I'm going to want to wear that one, because I'm going to be dying to test this kind of accuracy, or how good this really is, to see if I actually do catch more fish. And I kind of go to the same lake all the time, so I already know kind of what that lake is capable of. So now having this information, I'll see if that changes anything for me. But yeah, that's my review of, or I shouldn't say review, more of an impression, because I haven't really worn these long enough to have a good review. But then again, I don't know what there is to test and check on these things. These are kind of what you see is what you get kind of watches. The only thing, obviously, for $18 you can't complain, but obviously this is plastic. It would look cool as metal. That's actually one reason why I started looking at the metal G-Shocks, because I kind of like how it kind of looks. It kind of has that blend between like a stainless steel watch, but yet still kind of that retro look. So, and on this one, my feature set, there really isn't a whole lot here. I mean, you've got your time. This is actually kind of cool. So this is actually if you want to check when is a good time to go fishing. So you can kind of scroll through the hours and see how you'll see kind of fish popping up. So you can kind of see, you can kind of plan your day. So there you go. At about 1 o'clock, it's going to be, wait a second, is this 1 o'clock tomorrow? That's a good question, because I noticed that the date at the bottom is not changing, so I don't know what that means. Like, yeah, that's kind of weird, because the date at the bottom is not changing, so I don't know if that's 1 o'clock. Well, it's not. It's 1 o'clock now, so I know it's not, so it must be 1 o'clock tomorrow, because it's already 1 o'clock. But you got dual times. So down here at the bottom is my central time. Up top, I put the UTC time. This is normal time. You can switch between military, kind of like that with a push of a button. You can switch between military or 12-hour time. So I kind of like that. Like some of the other watches have it, but you kind of have to. Like this one has it too, but I kind of have to. Like trying to remember how to even change it now. I have to go into the settings and try to figure it out. So I like the simplicity of just one button. And then it's got your normal, alarms and stopwatch. So yeah, very simple watch. Not a whole lot to say about this one. The light on it isn't that. This kind of, it's got your standard single LED in a corner kind of thing. So I think it's just enough to see the time, but it's fine. It's got the 10-year battery, so we'll see how that does. But yeah, all in all, what made me actually buy two of them is that Amazon yesterday had one of those random coupons. If you spend $20, you can get 10 off. So I wanted to get this one, but this one was 18, so I needed something else to get me over 20. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? As I was looking through the Casio range, the fishing part is what sold me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So that's how I ended up with these two. So yeah, so again, this is a kind of more of an impression video to my fellow watch snubs who, like me, would laugh these out the door. It was give them a chance. I'm glad I did, and I can see myself buying more now. And what's even more fun about these is that these don't break the bank. You spend $20 and you have a watch, so even if after a month or two you get bored of it, give it to my kid, give it to someone, throw it in a drawer, and I'm not going to be out. Sorry, losing $20. You spend a couple hundred, and you're kind of like feel stupid if you change your mind and like it, and they gotta sell it, sometimes take a loss. So I think these will have a place in my rotation. I'm kind of happy I did discover them, because now I think it's going to make my watch collecting even more fun, knowing that I don't have to keep looking at these expensive watches. And actually, you know what, and this actually kind of will go along with what I said in my previous watch video a few videos ago, where I eliminated a lot of my kind of middle collection and was looking more towards the high end, just because having a lot of these like $300, $400, $500 mechanical watches, I kind of worried about the longevity with maintenance and maintaining them. Is it going to be worth it? So I've kind of liquidated majority of it and was going to focus on really just putting my attention more towards kind of the higher end. I already have two. All I wanted was the Grand Seiko Snowflake, and I still probably will get it. But discovering these old cheaper watches is awesome, because these will kind of itch, or I'm sure these will scratch that new watch itch without kind of messing up my plans of not getting trapped in those mid-tier watches. There's a lot of value here too for these watches. I mean, for $18, what you're getting here is pretty darn good. But yeah, there you go. If you don't have one, check it out. And thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.